Hey, hope you're well. Welcome to another Bet Carter for a weekend's worth of action for racingtips.com. I've got 4 selections for you this week. Hopefully they're going to go better than the last 2 weeks. It's been abysmal. Not really had much to get excited about for the race in the last 2 weekends. This weekend is different. The nap of the day is the first of the 4 selections at Ascot. Comes in at 150 and it's Sam Brown. Now, I think Pim is well worth taking on here. The race he won last time out, beating Imperial Aura by 8 lengths, looks like good form, but Imperial Aura did not stay the trip that day. You can't forget that. And Pim's finishing effort was not as strong as you would have expected it to have been. Previous to that, Ascot here over course and distance, he beat the highest Sun by 3 lengths, but that form is working out really, really well, okay, on the face of it. If you go back and watch the race, Pim dictated things from the front end with Spider's Bite. They went an absolute dawdle on the first circuit and on the second circuit up until free from home. And it turned into a bit of a sprint. So it's no surprise many of the other horses failed to get involved. Highest Sun, the second, third, and fourth have all come out and boosted the form. But like I say, the form shouldn't be taken for face value because the race wasn't run to suit many of the horses in it. Pim jumped out to the left that day and he only got 3 lengths clear of the highest Sun, who made plenty of mistakes at his fences. So I think Pim's worth taking on. I don't think he's the strongest stayer over 3 miles, and I certainly don't think a slog in the mud is what he's going to want. So take him on. Sam Brown, nap of the day, returned from 2-year absence at Lingfield, won by 22 lengths, really impressive. Dropped back in trip at Haydock when he was on nap a couple of weeks ago and got the job done really well by 15 lengths. He looked like he was just going to fade away on the home bend because it was too short of a trip for him, but he stayed on really strongly. Shows he's got a bit of class, shows he's not short of speed, and he loves the mud. Stepping back up to 3 miles here is certainly going to suit him. I think he's a big player in the RSA. He's around 16 to 1 for that. I don't think Copperhead's that good. Danny Wisbane may well be the danger, and I think 2 for gold is what he is. I think Sam Brown's got loads more to come, and I think he can take the 150 and land us the money earlier in the day. In the 3 o'clock at Ascot, really like Eden DeHoo at the head of the market, but I'm going to take him on with Nudano, the only juvenile in the field. 4-year-old, gets plenty of weight. He's off a mark of 127. It's his first start in a handicap, but I really like the way he stayed on at Ascot last time and at Chepstow the time before, beaten by 2 very hot favourites for the Triumph Hurdle in El Mankind and Goshen. Now, he was well beaten those days, but there's bits and pieces of form to suggest that mark of 127 could just underestimate him a little bit. Now, looking at the past winners of this race, 4-year-olds haven't got a great record, but there's only been 1 other 4-year-old to run in the race in the past 10 years, and he finished 2nd. So I just think Nordano stepping up in trip, what he's been crying out for, to 2.5. The soft ground's going to help. He's got a lovely attitude. He's around 8 to 1. I think there's plenty to like about him in a field where there's not a lot to like about, a lot of exposed handicappers. So Nodano to take on Eden DeHoo in the 3 o'clock. Over at Haydock in the 350, I'm going to side with Welsh Saint for Nicky Henderson. Now, this is another horse that's been crying out for a step up in trip and gets stepped up to 3 miles and a half a furlong. He's going to appreciate that. He's going to appreciate the mud. He's off a mark of 134, and there's lots to think that he's much better than 134. This is a Potemps handicap hurdle qualifier, okay? So he will need to win this race to raise his handicap mark enough to get in the race. There's a few horses in here, like Sykes, who won this race last year, is already qualified for this race. And a few others are sitting on handicap marks where they wouldn't really want to be put up too much, in the thick of things. But Welsh Saint is one of those who is unexposed, and he could have plenty more to come. Really like him. Welsh Saint in the 350. Last tip of the day is in the 410 at Ascot. Back over to Ascot. And I'm going to side with a horse called St. Bart's. This horse for Philip Hobbs, I've been keeping an eye on him since his run at Ascot on return, where he finished 6th behind Eagle. It was a good race that day. It was over 2 miles 4 furlongs on soft ground. I think he stayed on really nicely that day. It was quite eye-catching. He went out next time and won by 13 lengths on heavy ground. Now, that race, it was an ordinary maiden hurdle, really. but the second has come out and boosted the form. He then went to Wincanton and ran behind two horses that I think are pretty smart in Hurricane Harvey and Southfield Harvest. I think the pair of them could be 135, 140 horses in the future. And St. Bart's runs off a mark of 118 in his first start in a handicap. So I think that could underestimate him. Ben Jones takes £3 off, and I think he's going to be a progressive horse for Philip Hobbs. So those are the selections. The 150, the Napoli Day, Sam Brown around 5-2. In the 3 o'clock, Nildano around 8-1, 9-1 in places. In the 350, Welsh Saint is around 10-3 with one firm. Waiting for the rest of that to be priced up. That's good enough though. And in the 410, St. Bart's, you can get him around 7-1. Again, waiting for a lot of others to price up. But I think those selections should bring in a bit of money tomorrow, should the racing go ahead. And I hope you have a great day. Thanks for listening. Thanks for bearing with me the last 2 weeks. I do apologise. But yeah, get on Racing Tips. Have a look at all the content. Thanks very much. See you soon.